When you hear the word shonen, what do you immediately think of? That question was obviously rhetorical because I already know the answer. You think of that one magazine with that one verb where you use your body and force it off the ground in an upward motion. It's Jump, okay? Shonen Jump is what you think of. For manga fans, it's the main publication with series that's constantly shoved in your face whether you like it or not. The publication where stuff gets leaked on a daily basis by nobodies who want a quick Twitter paycheck. Still not over all of y'all who tried to take credit for JJK's success, lumping your name in with gays with those hashtags, thinking you helped the series in some fashion. You didn't. By the way, how's the new fast food job treating you? Long story short, Jump to many is the mecca for all things shonen. So much so that I can guarantee there are some that think Jump is the only source of manga for the shonen demographic. I'ma burst your bubble real quick, it's not. Because one of my favorite new gen manga isn't even running in Jump. Yes, actual new gen. Not JJK, Demon Slayer, not My Hero, not Black Clover. They have to be new in order to be considered new gen. You see where I'm getting at right here? Anyway, let's not waste any more time. Roll intro. Shonen is one of the most popular demographics when it comes to manga, and I've been reading it ever since I was a kid, even being subscribed to Shonen Jump in middle school, getting a magazine with new chapters of different series at the end of each month. But as I've gotten older, especially recently, I've been venturing out and reading other types of manga in the seinen, shoujo, josei demographics. And in the process, I've found some pretty good series. But there's just something about the shonen formula that's so addicting and pulls me back in. And some of these new manga have taken that formula and done some really creative things with it, bringing fresh ideas to the table that I didn't even know was possible. Which brings me to today's topic. One of my favorite series currently is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. A shonen that, get this, isn't even running in Jump's magazine. What? A shonen manga that's not in Jump? Blasphemy. There's more than one weekly shonen magazine? Yes, stupid. And check it. This manga is serialized in, you ready? Weekly Shonen Magazine. Congratulations, you are a certified baka! Anyway, I've teased you long enough. One of my favorite new gen manga is Gachiakuta. Gachiakuta is created by Kei Urana, which started serializing in Weekly Shonen Magazine back in 2022. It's also been announced to be receiving an anime adaptation from Studio Bones next year. As of this recording, it has 115 chapters with 12 physical volumes. I've heard little things here and there about it a few months ago, so I decided to do the 3-try test and bought the first 3 volumes. Finished them in less than a week. Yep, I was locked all the way in. Bought the rest that was out, and now you can consider me a fan of this series. The story follows Rudo, a kid living in the rundown area of what they call Tenkai, the higher place. Tenkai is considered the wealthy part of the world, and in this world, Rudo isn't a big fan of how wasteful the wealthy are, as they constantly are throwing away things in this dump called the Pit. Chapter 1 literally starts with Rudo infiltrating a heavily guarded area, rummaging through trash to find things he deems valuable and sells them to people. Like a stuffed bunny, which he tries to sell to his little girl, Chiwa. Due to his nervousness when it comes to affection, he isn't good at communicating his emotions. So much so that he's nervously blushing and stuttering when handing the stuffed animal to the little girl. But he finally succeeds in doing so. He runs back home to Regato, his foster parent, to tell him the good news. The day before, Regato was eavesdropping on Rudo trying to sell the doll the first time, but failing. What we quickly find out is, when Rudo gets back home, he returns to Regato, dead on the ground in a pool of blood. Like any normal human being, he's confused and shocked. How did this happen? Who did this? Rudo doesn't know, and neither does the higher place's police force. So they arrest Rudo without explanation, no questions, on the spot, falsely accusing him of murdering his dad. Got this man chained up for the rest of society to see, even little Chiwa, and she thinks he killed Reguto like everyone else. Since the beginning of the chapter, you get these little shit kids who constantly call Rudo a killer, and it eventually gets to Chiwa's impressionable little kid brain. Fast forward back to Rudo being chained up though. In a state of pent-up rage, as he descends to the pit, he proclaims, "I'ma kick all y'all's ass. When I get back up here, you're all dead." All of this while he is halfway to the bottom, witnessing one of my favorite panels in the entire manga to this day. If you're reading this for the first time and you weren't locked in at this point, seeing this panel will lock you all the way in. He then wakes up in a smelly wasteland filled with trash and trash beasts. However, he gets saved by a cleaner named Engine. From this point on, the series focuses on Rudo working as a cleaner with hopes of finding a way to return back to the higher place. This manga excels in many different departments. It goes without saying because it's visually obvious, but the art is phenomenal. Back when the manga first started, in his last artist comment, Atsushi Okubo recommended people read Gachiakuta when chapter 1 premiered in the magazine, basically passing the torch down to Urana. For those who don't know, Okubo is the creator of Soul Eater and Fire Force. It's clear that Urana is a big fan of Okubo's works, as Gachiakuta's art reminds me of a bolder, grimier, grittier, more urban version of Soul Eater and Fire Force's art. It also has amazing graffiti design from an actual graffiti artist woven throughout the story, mostly in Canvas Town, making the backgrounds pop but still blend in at the same time. So much effort and emotion is put into every single panel, it's insane, and it only gets better as the story progresses. A very unique aesthetic if I do say so myself. Speaking of emotion, the facial expressions are top tier. Manga and anime are known for being very over the top when it comes to humor and exaggeration, almost to the point where it can get meme worthy. Gachiakuta is no different. I would go as far as to say that this series is the best when it comes to that, easily. The amount of varying expressions placed throughout is hilarious, and no one expression is used twice. I can definitely see some JoJo level memes being made when the anime is airing next year. The power system implemented is one of the most unique and creative I've seen in modern shonen. Each character has something called a vital instrument, unique to them, which they use in battle. For example, Rudo uses a pair of gloves, given to him by his father before he died, his actual father. With them, he can bring out the true value of anything he touches. Engine uses a literal umbrella with spikes sticking out of it. Ryo uses a pair of scissors. You even have weird powers used, like this character, whose ability is literally, and I'm not making this up, making people fall in love with her and do her bidding, using her feet's odor.
Hell no, man. What the fuck?
Every gooner's wet dream right there. Speaking of gooning, let's talk about the waifus, because this manga low-key has some. The previously mentioned feet odor girl Amo, baddie. Ryo Reaper, baddie. Neride, baddie. But the baddie of the series though, Simiyu the Receptionist. I feel this is a consensus depending on who you ask who's the top waifu of Gachiakuta. Just like how everyone is currently gassing Seiko from Dandadan, I can see everyone doing the same with Simiyu when the anime releases. Not many people are aware of this series because it's fairly recent in the manga space, running for only 2 years, but it has potential of becoming extremely popular by the time anime trailers start premiering. It already has a dedicated readership, myself included, and I feel it'll skyrocket in notoriety and sales come next year. If you're a fan of Atsushi Okubo and his style, you'll definitely be a fan of Gachiakuta. As someone who's almost caught up with the manga, I can't wait to get more anime news, cast announcements, trailers, and just to see what Studio Bones has cooking up with this property. 2025 can't come soon enough. But yeah, that's the end. What do you think about Gachiakuta? Will this be the next big thing come next year? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. And if you rock with the video, leave a like and subscribe. Till next time, deuces.
I don't need no one else. With you, don't need no one else. Round her, I can lift my veils. Finally, I can